Let's hit some anytime goal scorers as well as safe shots on goal for some of these goalies. Give me both teams to score in the first period. That's coming in at plus 185 compared to the over 1.5 that is at minus 120. Okay, you guys ready? Let's make some freaking money. It's time for Puck It with Joe. Good morning, everyone, and happy Friday. We have made it. Friday is here, and we got a light day out there on the ice now. We had some chaos out there on the ice last night. A ton of goals in every game except for the Winnipeg Jets game versus the Seattle Kraken. What the heck happened there? Well, there was one goal only by the Seattle Kraken on Connor Hellebuck. It looks like two empty netters. We had the Kraken's team total under 1.5. I tell you. Disappointing to see that game play out that way. But, we had a couple of those games go to OT that we bet. So at the end of the day, it ended up being just a little bit of plus money on the day. We got some first periods. We got some totals. We got some sides. So it's going to be a good one today. 4 games on the slate. Thank you for loving the sweatshirt. I stole this sweatshirt from my daughter. So rocking this one. Tons to go over today with these 4 games. We're going to jump right into it. If you're watching over on X, I do encourage you to come on over to YouTube where you can interact here with me. Now, we try to go live at 1 p.m. Eastern on the daily. Sometimes I got to flex those. On the weekends, definitely have to flex those. So tomorrow's a loaded slate. I'm going to try to almost get something out tonight for tomorrow so that you guys are not waiting. Loaded slate out there. Maybe I'll do a handful of Cup of Joes. So stay tuned for that. Still trying to play around with what's actually going to get more views here on YouTube. I did yesterday try to go later to see if that helped as well. It got the same amount of views. So we're going to play around with a couple of things because we were going from like 150 to 500 live viewers every single time we went live last season, and it's kind of dropped this season, and we have had a change in time. So wondering if that's affecting it a little bit. So you guys come on over to YouTube, do watch over here. I encourage you guys. That is a lot of coffee. There is always a lot of coffee to go on. It's always beside me. This is my second of my French presses today. It's 11 a.m. Eastern here. We got a lot to go over, like I said. So stay tuned for those Cup of Joes. Stay tuned for if I do a live show, and I will do some sort of live show, but I want to make sure those early picks are out. So maybe I'll do a Cup of Joe on those couple early games, and then we will do the live show. So hit the notification button so you know what is happening over here, because your guess is as good as mine at this point on a Friday. But we've got a ton of stuff happening. So let's go over these 4 games, you guys. Again, if you can hit that like, hit the comment button, and let me know below what you're liking and any questions in here. Jump into the live chat and we'll go over those. So 4 games on deck today. We have Toronto versus Buffalo, Washington versus Columbus. The San Jose Sharks, who finally got a win. We rode them plus 1.5 at minus 114 yesterday. It cashed as they did win in OT versus the New York Rangers. Today, they'll face the New Jersey Devils, looking to bring that momentum into this game. And then Calgary and Winnipeg will face up again. And yes, we just did see this matchup in Calgary on Monday night where Winnipeg was able to get the win. So let's jump into the first game here. The Toronto Maple Leafs. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I'm not a big believer that 2 teams from the same city can win on the same night. I think the Toronto Blue Jays are in for a win tonight, and I'm wanting to fade the Toronto Maple Leafs here. I don't think both of these teams are getting the win. I'm looking at the Toronto Maple Leafs in this matchup versus the Buffalo Sabres. The Sabres have been playing great at home. The Leafs are entering as the favorite role at minus 132. Total sitting at 6.5. If we can get one Toronto team to win it tonight, let's see it be the Blue Jays. So the under 6.5 is minus 132. I'd be a little concerned with the under in this one. I do think we go over the 6.5. You're going to get plus money there. Stolarz hasn't looked that solid between the pipes. He does have a 3.01 goals against average and an 894 save percentage. Alex Leon has more solid numbers. So I kind of worry about Toronto being able to score because Buffalo's defense has been the more consistent of the two. They have a great kill, second best kill in the league at 96.2%. They are allowing 2.86 goals and 33.1 shots on goal, but their goaltending has been able to withstand those high danger shots. So Alex Leon can steal the Buffalo Sabres this game. And you also look, it's a battle of the Atlantic here. The Buffalo Sabres have won 3 straight games at home in Buffalo, and 15 of their last 20 at home they've been able to get the win. When we look at the Toronto Maple Leafs, they did sweep this series last season, winning all 3 of those games and the last 5 overall, and they've covered the puck line in the last 4. So this has been an opponent they've been able to take down. You got to wonder here, though, if Buffalo can break that losing streak versus the Leafs here at home tonight with the confidence they're rolling with, especially when you look here at the weakness of the power play by Toronto. They've been great. They've been controlling those faceoffs, and that's something they're going to have to do. They will have to play a full 60 minutes and be able to generate those high danger shots to get them past Alex Leon. If they're able to do that, if they're able to enforce a strong tempo in this game and really limit Buffalo's space out there on the ice, they have every opportunity of getting the win. But I'm just not sure if we can see a full 60 minutes out of Toronto. So if you want to come in here on Toronto in the first period, absolutely. I think Toronto could come out, win that first period. But then I think Buffalo fights their way back. I'm going to take the Buffalo Sabres. I'm going to take the plus money on them on the money line. And then I'm going to look at this game to go over the total of 6.5. I do think we have a higher scoring one here. Now, because I think it's going to be higher scoring, I have no problem dropping those prop bets on both sides of the puck here. William Nylander has been so impactful for the Toronto Maple Leafs. If I've said Blue Jays, it's because Blue Jays are on my mind. Toronto Maple Leafs, he's got 13 points, 2 goals, and 11 assists. 2+ points for William Nylander for the Leafs today is plus 184. I'll take a shot on Nylander for 2+ points. Tavares and Austin Matthews have been great as well, but I do think it is Nylander that I want to count on tonight. For the Buffalo Sabres, you know how strong Tage Thompson is out there. I'll take him for 2+ points at plus 260. You can also look at Jack Quinn and Josh Drone to come out nice and strong. They both have 3 goals and 3 assists. Tage Thompson for me is my playmaker. You're going to hit that plus money across the board tonight. I like that plus money across the board for sure. I think all of the dogs, it is Friday. It's a Freaky Friday. We know all the dogs are barking. I do think when we look at the Washington Capitals versus the Columbus Blue Jackets, Columbus has every ability to win, but I do think this is one that plays out like we see Washington normally play out these games, coming in strong in that first period. I am a little concerned about the scheduling spot here for Washington. So what I'm going to do with the Washington Capitals is look at the puck line in the first period, laying the half a goal. Overall, those stats or those odds for the game are the Washington Capitals at minus 111, minus 108 for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Total 6.5. The 6.5 juice to the under at minus 138. Logan Thompson between the pipes has been so stellar. For the Washington Capitals, he's 4-1 with a 1.61 goals against average and a 927 save percentage. Jet Greaves will be in here for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Now, he's got decent numbers, 2.03 goals against average and a 929 save percentage. The issue with this is the amount of shots that the Washington Capitals are able to pepper the goaltenders with, averaging 32 shots per game. 4th best in the league. Now, their power play conversion is not that strong at 18.2%, but we are seeing a very weak kill out here for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Worst kill in the league at 60%. When we look at what the Columbus Blue Jackets are allowing for those shots on goal as well, it's 32.5. So when you've got a team that in the Washington Capitals, it's averaging 32 and a defense is allowing 32.5. I'm expecting 36, 37, 38, 39, 40 shots on Jet Greaves. He's not going to be able to withstand that. And I think the Washington Capitals come straight out of the gate and they put 10, 11, 12 shots on him in that first period. So I think we got a fast first period. Capitals get the win in the first period. The puck line here, laying the half a goal, get that great plus money. They have won their last 6 on the road as a favorite versus the Columbus Blue Jackets as well. I think this is a 3-2 style game, though. I look at what the defense can do here for the Washington Capitals. They're only allowing 1.86 goals per game and 24.1 shots on goal. They can get up and then they can hold that lead. They can control the faceoffs, control the neutral zone, and not allow those opportunities for Columbus to go on that rush and hit Logan Thompson, which I think if they do hit him with those high danger shots, Logan Thompson's going to be able to stop them. My only concern here for the full game for the Washington Capitals, this is one-off road game. They are home tomorrow versus the Senators and back out versus the Stars. Like we talked about the other day, they've got a lot of road home kind of situations, and I don't love it. This is a battle of the Metro out here. You do have Columbus on the first night of a back-to-back as well. They will face the Pittsburgh Penguins, who got us a win last night, by the way, out there on the road tomorrow. So we got both of these teams in the first night of a back-to-back. Now, your trends for this game is the Capitals have failed to cover the puck line each of their last 7 road games following a win. So coming off a win, it's just not a strength for them to win big in the next. And I do think that's how this one could play out. So I would rather look at the Capitals first period puck line. And you don't have to go for that plus money. You can look at the first period money line here. You're going to get that right around the minus 108 mark. And then if it's 1-1 going into the second or 0-0 going into the second, you get a push instead of a loss. Now, looking at the playmakers, even though I think this is a lower scoring one, where you would look for those playmakers is Ovi, Tom Wilson, John Carlson for the Washington Capitals. And then you've got Zach Werenski here for the Columbus Blue Jackets. And interesting to see, he has scored a goal in each of the Blue Jackets' last 3 games against the Capitals. So he would be your playmaker that you're looking at for that trend. Again, I'm staying off player props in this one, you guys, but just want to give you those trends out there. And then Ken Johnson's been really solid at getting those points as of late, 3 points in the last 2 games. So while I'm taking the points and the props in that first game we talked about, I'm staying off for this game, but I would look there if you want to. Happy Friday, Kev. Great to see you here this morning. It was a good night last night. So let's continue to make some freaking money out there. The ones that lost hurt, but the ones that won made up for it. So let's look at the San Jose Sharks finally getting a win. 17 losses in a row, you guys. This poor Sharks team. Will Smith, brilliant last night, 3 points. Macklin Celebrini got multiple. It was a phenomenal night out there for the San Jose Sharks as they completely took it to the New York Rangers, getting the win in OT 6-5. High scoring, epic battle there. Now, that first period was so high scoring, which I didn't expect, but it was crazy to see. Asarov in net tonight for the Sharks, and they're facing the New Jersey Devils. Hard opponent here in the New Jersey Devils. The New Jersey Devils are over a $3, almost a $4 favorite. Who can bet that, you guys? Minus 375 here for the New Jersey Devils, and upsets in hockey happen any given day. So you're looking at a Freaky Friday as well. Plus 290. Would I take a chance on the Sharks? Well, instead of taking a chance on the Sharks, I'd probably look at some player props here or look at the puck line. Plus 1.5 for the San Jose Sharks is getting you at plus 122. Yes, they're on the second night of a back-to-back, but we did see the New Jersey Devils win their last game on the second night of a back-to-back versus the Minnesota Wild. And then we got a little look-ahead situation. I'm concerned the New Jersey Devils are not going to take the Sharks seriously coming into this one, expecting an easy win when we look at their home and road versus Colorado loading. So we're going to get into that. This total sitting at 6.5. The juice on the total is to the under 6.5. Remember, the Sharks scored 6 goals alone themselves last night, but it's Jake Allen between the pipes. And while we saw the Rangers with strong goaltending, Jake Allen also strong goaltender between the pipes, a 1.91 goals against average and a 931 save percentage. The Devils are averaging 4 goals and 29.6 shots on goal per game. Their power play is converting at 30%. Got a terrible kill here for the Sharks at 69.5%. So you should think if the Devils end up on the one-man advantage, they are going to convert in this game. When we look at the Sharks, this team is averaging 3.14 goals per game. It's not their offense that's letting them down. It's their defense. 25.3 shots on goal per game, 23.1% conversion on the power play. So solid there, but the kill is deadly for the New Jersey Devils. The Devils are not allowing opponents to convert. On the power play, they're holding them off 96% of the time. Just stellar numbers there. And like I said, the kill is weak for the Sharks. So the Sharks can't end up in the box. They can't allow the power play here for the Devils. The Devils will score on the power play. They'll probably score a shorty on the kill as well. So this is a dangerous team. But like I said, this is a hard one because we're seeing the Devils coming in off a win versus the Wild on the second night of back-to-back. They left it all out there on the ice Wednesday night. Now, the Avs are on deck on Sunday at home, and then the Avs are on the road versus the Avs on Tuesday. So they've got Colorado on deck. That's a hard opponent off another hard game on your second night of a back-to-back. And I think this is a perfect situation to just grab the Sharks plus the 1.5 at plus 122. If you think it takes a hot minute for the Sharks to get on the board, which I don't think it will, with the momentum finally breaking that losing streak, I think they're going to be hot out of the gate. I'd look at the first period over 1.5 goals because I do think both of these teams had the possibility of scoring. So the over 1.5 goals in both teams to score in the first period seems like a great way. And I know the Sharks on the second night of back-to-back, but I'm not worried about that. You also look at the stat here with the New Jersey Devils on the puck line versus the Pacific. They haven't covered that puck line in their last 6. So they've struggled on the puck line versus Pacific opponents. And yes, bottom barrel of the Pacific here. But I still think the Sharks have every ability. This is a young, scrappy, fiery team out there on the ice. That momentum will travel into this game. That first period, they have the best ability to win. If you want to take a long shot bet here on the Sharks in the first period, you know, if I'm saying it, I've freaking already done it, you guys. The Sharks first period, I throw away my money on the New York Jets. Why not throw away a little bit more money here on the San Jose Sharks? I think they can honestly win that first period. Macklin Celebrini, 2+ points. He scored at least 1 goal in each of the Sharks' last 4 road games, and I do think he is going to get a goal and probably an assist in this one. I'd look at Will Smith for his points as well. 3 points last night, just complete fire. On the other side, you got to look at Jack Hughes. You know, Jack Hughes will be answering back in this one. This is going to be a great game out there. Over 1.5 first period. Both teams to score first period. San Jose Sharks money line first period. Or you could be freaking crazy and do the reverse puck line laying a half a goal and get even more plus money. I think we don't get that greedy though. And then Macklin Celebrini, 2+ points. Will Smith for his points as well. Jack Hughes on the other side. We freaking love that plus money. That's for sure. There's no other plays I want to take either. At the end of the day, they are professional players. Yeah. They are professional players for a reason. That is for sure. The Sharks, I think they score first. I do. I think they come out flying out there for sure. Yeah, and they don't deserve to be a $4 favorite. Absolutely. So you guys, let's make some freaking money. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button. If you're watching over on X, which I see so many of you watching over on X right now, come on over to YouTube, get in this live chat. Let me know if you have any questions on the day. We're going to go over all of your questions as well. Last but not least, the Calgary Flames. My Calgary Flames, can they do what my LA Chargers were able to do last night and pull off the win? I don't think so. Nazem Kadri also listed as I'm not sure if he didn't practice. So I'm not sure if Nazem Kadri is going to be hitting the ice. He is unknown right now. Dustin Wolf between the pipes has a 3.61 goals against average this season. Coming back down to reality, we saw him just phenomenal between the pipes last season, and I do think he gets there. But right now, shaky. 875 save percentage versus Eric Crombie. So we won't see Connor Hellebuck because we did see Connor Hellebuck last night for the Winnipeg Jets. Again, the Jets score last night is it doesn't represent how that game played out. It was a 1-0 game, but the Kraken scored 2 empty netters. So it wasn't Connor Hellebuck. You can't look at those numbers and be like, wow, the Winnipeg Jets really S the bed, right? Like you can't say that. It was 1 goal and then empty netters. Now, Eric Crombie coming in has a 943 save percentage, a 2.00 goals against average. So solid numbers out of him. His best strength in this game is the lack of offense here for Calgary. Calgary knows that they can't score. They're only averaging 1.5 goals per game. This club has to play a defensive hockey, which is the trademark of the Winnipeg Jets, right? You look at the Winnipeg Jets, you don't think high-scoring offenses, even though they have the playmakers with Kyle Connor, Mark Scheifele, they have every ability to play a game that's high-scoring. But on the second night of a back-to-back, I'm looking for them to try to slow this game down because there will be tied legs out there. Try to control the pace of this game and not allow Calgary to get those shots on Eric Crombie. Slow things down, own that neutral zone, and for them to take, I don't know, less time or more time out there setting up these plays and playing around a little bit more with the puck instead of shooting it. Now they are averaging 25.1 shots on goal per game. They're allowing that 30.4, but again, with Calgary only averaging 26.9 shots on goal with their lack of high danger shots out there, I just can't see this one getting into a back and forth score fest. I do think you look at the first period and you look at that one to stay under the 1.5 goals right away. The under 1.5 in the first period is a good price. And I do think if this one goes over, it's because of the last minute scoring out there, the garbage goals that come into play. And it's Winnipeg that has every opportunity. I think Winnipeg, off that loss last night, should be able to get the win here. The problem is taking Winnipeg. You look at the lines right now, the Winnipeg Jets are a -140 favorite. They should be a bigger favorite, and I kind of get scared when I see lines like this. Why aren't the Winnipeg Jets against a Calgary team that's lost their last 7 that they just beat on Monday not a $2 favorite in this one? I don't like that, you guys. It feels like the books are asking me to take Winnipeg at a short price at -140. If you like Winnipeg, I'd probably look in reg at +116 for the Calgary Flames, a team that's lost their last 7. There is no way I'm going to bite at that price. And this total of 5.5, it's +104 to the under. I think first period under is where you want to go. So I wouldn't look at, excuse me, my voice is going today. I wouldn't look at props here for Calgary, but if you want to look at someone for the Winnipeg Jets, I'd look at Kyle Connor or Mark Scheifele. I do think after being held off the board last night, you're going to see both of them come to play in this one. And we know Dustin Wolf hasn't been able to get the puck out of the back of the net. So yeah, everyone watching on X, come on over. Will Smith, absolutely for the point. Off 3 points last night, you got to love his ability to come out nice and strong. The ice is going to be freaking hot tonight. You're going to go with the same game parlay. Got to love the same game parlay. The Jets on the money line with Calgary under 2.5 goals. Same bet hit with Montreal against the Flames. I love this bet. This is a great way to isolate this game, especially with the Calgary Flames only averaging that 1.5. Eric Crombry is a backup goaltender, but we're seeing a Winnipeg Jets team off a loss last night. Second night of back-to-back. They're going to slow this game. They're not going to allow those high-danger shots. And Nazem Kadri, I doubt, is playing this game tonight. So I love Calgary under the 2.5 goals, as well as the Winnipeg Jets to get the win. Marchand was a little sad coming back to Boston. Yeah, that was a hard one. It was so emotional watching him there. He loved playing with the Boston Bruins, and it would have been a hard decision for him to stay with the Florida Panthers and not go back to his fan base there. But he's done what he's needed to do for his career. But yeah, the homes of those players is where it's at. It is going to be a close game. I know the books are telling you that. I still can't believe it's not a higher price on the Winnipeg Jets. So we'll see what is happening out there in that game. That is the late game of the night. 8 p.m. Eastern, though, late game. So not that late. The Panthers have a few injuries. Yeah, the Panthers rolling with some injuries. The Bruins need to play better. Yeah, the Bruins started off so weird. So the Bruins started off hot and then they fell off, which I thought they would have started off kind of the reverse. I thought they would have started off weaker and then got better. But we've seen that kind of flip with the Boston Bruins. We'll see what we get out of them in their next game. Again, it's a loaded slate tomorrow. We're going to go over all of that. I want to, on a Friday here, give you some of those trends that you're looking at for Saturday, so that you guys can get an early start on your betting. So let's jump into some of those trends. Then we'll do the recap. We're sitting right here at the 23-minute mark. Jets in regulation does seem safe. Could this be a 1-1 into overtime? It could be, but I don't really see it with Winnipeg off a loss. If Winnipeg would have won last night, I could maybe see it be the case where this one is tighter than that number. I think people are overestimating overrating the fact that it's second night back-to-back for Winnipeg here. I think they will be fine. And then looking at that 3-0 score, it's not a true representation of how that game went. Okay, so some trends for tomorrow. You guys mentioned the Boston Bruins. The Bruins have covered the puck line in each of their last 11-day games. So versus the Colorado Avalanche tomorrow, you can grab them plus the 1.5 right now in the puck line. It's juicy at like minus 170, but that's where your trend points you towards the Bruins on that puck line. Again, these are just trends. They're not my official bets. I want to give you guys those trends for tomorrow so that you're already got them in the back of your head before we do Puck It with Joe. The Kraken, the Seattle Kraken face the Edmonton Oilers. This is the late game tomorrow. The Kraken have lost each of their last 11 home games against opponents on a winning streak. So Edmonton rolling into Seattle. Seattle coming off a 3-0 win last night. Tomorrow we'll face Edmonton, so that they're coming home off a road trip as well. That's a good fade spot. Now the Edmonton Oilers right now, when we're looking at that money line, are like a minus 160, 170 favorite. That line's going to shoot up. I do think it will shoot up out there. Edmonton has had some struggles in Seattle though. When we look at the Vegas Golden Knights versus the Florida Panthers tomorrow, this game kicking off the puck dropping at 6:10 Eastern. The Vegas Golden Knights have won their last 9 night games against the Atlantic Division. So Vegas has been strong versus the Atlantic. It is in Florida for that game. Florida is rested coming into that one, but so is Vegas. So the New York Islanders and the Flyers, each of the Islanders' last 7 games against the Flyers following a win have gone under the total goal line. So that leaning you, the Islanders and the Flyers, to the under 5.5. And we'll have to look at goaltending matchup. Now, I do believe the Isles have switched goaltending coaches out there for Sorokin. Sorokin's been absolutely struggling this season. So we'll see the Flyers versus the Islanders. Dan Vladar for the Islanders, I'm expecting between the pipes. When we look at the Carolina Hurricanes and the Dallas Stars, the trends do point you to the under 5.5. Now, the under 5.5 between those two teams tomorrow is great plus money, right around that plus 130 mark. The Canes last 8 road games following an overtime game have gone under that total line. So that does point you to the under. We know both of those teams can play a solid defensive battle, but you look what the Canes were able to do versus the Avs last night, the amount of goals, it's a scary one to take to the under. And then a nice trend here for the Anaheim Ducks. The Ducks have been quacking the Tampa Bay Lightning. This team needs freaking help offensively. The Lightning have lost each of their last 11 night games. The Ducks, almost a $2 underdog in that game. If you want to grab them on that puck line, I don't blame you. So those are the trends looking forward to tomorrow's games. I'm going to have either multiple cups of Joe, a live show. I don't know. We'll see how we feel about things going into tomorrow. I'm going to start capping these games here, and we'll see what we put out for tomorrow, because it's a big day of college football, you guys. And I know on some of these big days of college football, it's so hard to hang out with me for an hour. So I kind of want those quick takes for you guys, pointing you in the right direction. Let me know what you want over here, though, you guys. This show is trying to provide you guys what you want. So if you just want those cup of joes, if you do want the live show, let me know so we can go over everything. Yeah, the Kraken shocked me last night as well. I still can't believe it. Joey Decord, I think, stopped 32 of 32 shots on his goal. So he was great. Montreal will bounce back against Vancouver. Love it. I love it. So Montreal was able to get the win in Calgary, not able to get the win last night in Edmonton, but yes, facing Vancouver. It is a hard West Coast trip that these teams go on, but I do think Montreal can get the win over the Vancouver Canucks and Demko. So I love where you're going there for tomorrow's action. I didn't see any trends for that game. We have seen the underdog cover that puck line between the Mammoth and the Wild. The LA Kings and the Preds, the underdog has covered the puck line in the Kings' last 7 games. So the Predators' puck line is too juicy. The Montreal Canadiens versus the Vancouver Canucks. Your trend for that game tomorrow is the Canucks have failed to cover the puck line in each of their last 9 day games following a road loss. Montreal, though, that puck line makes no sense. Plus 1.5 is minus 250. So don't want to bet that. But those are the trends. Let's get into the recap time, you guys. I'm glad we took a couple minutes just to go over those trends. I love talking that stuff with you. I also wanted to quickly look at some of these players and where they are sitting. Players that are really hitting strong in the market as well over their last 5 games. So we're going to get into that. we're going to talk about William Nylander here in a second. William Nylander has been able to get 2+ points in 4 of his last 5 games. That is one of our bets today. So that is a strong bet. Mark Scheifele's been able to get a goal in 4 of the last 5, hitting 80%. That's a strong bet for the Winnipeg Jets. So we're going to go over all of that. I'm going to look at some more trends that you can look at for those player props as well, because we've got a little bit more time here on a Friday. But let's get into that recap, and then we'll talk some of these player props. So the recap. Sitting right here at the 30-minute mark. I love when we hit the 30-minute mark. The Toronto Maple Leafs versus the Buffalo Sabres. Again, I don't think both Toronto teams are winning tonight, and my money's already on the Blue Jays. I'm going to go with Buffalo to pull off the win here at home. They've been stellar at home. They won their last 3 and 15 of their last 20 home games. Battle of the Atlantic here. Give me the Sabres at +106 and this game to go over the 6.5. Again, I'm going to take player props on both sides. William Nylander for 2+ points. Again, hit 4 of the last 5 games, +184. Tags Thompson, 2+ points for Buffalo at +260. When I look at the Washington Capitals and the Columbus Blue Jackets, I want to get in and out. Give me the Capitals first period puck line laying a half a goal for that great plus money. We have seen the Capitals win their last 6 as a favorite versus the Columbus Blue Jackets. This is a 3-2 style game for me. I'm concerned about the puck line for the full game, because of the fact that this is a one-off a road game here for the Caps. They're back home tomorrow versus the Senators, and then back out on the road versus the Stars for their next game. We do have Columbus in a back-to-back first night as well. The Penguins on deck tomorrow for them. So backup goaltending. I'm staying off player props, but if you really want to look, I'd look at Ovi, Tom Wilson, and John Carlson for the Capitals, and Zach Werenski for the point for the Columbus Blue Jackets, and Ken Johnson for the point for the Columbus Blue Jackets. The San Jose Sharks versus the New Jersey Devils. Give me the Sharks again, +1.5 on the puck line at +122. I do think the Sharks have every ability to come in and pull off the upset here versus the Devils, and it's because of the spot the Devils are in. The Devils are off a second night of back-to-back, getting the win over the Minnesota Wild on Wednesday. Then they have Colorado on Sunday and Tuesday, so a home and road versus Colorado. I think they underestimate the Sharks. I think the Sharks, with momentum roll in, devastate the Devils in the first period, hit Jake Allen hard, and then we see the Devils get into this as well. Give me Macklin Celebrini for 2+ points. Give me Will Smith for a point. Give me Jack Hughes on the other side for a point. The Calgary Flames and the Winnipeg Jets. Give me the first period under 1.5 goals. I do think this at least starts off as a defensive battle. If Calgary is able to somehow hit Combry, I don't want to be sitting here with an under, but I do think that first period starts off slow. Mark Scheifele, I'll look at for the goal tonight. Kyle Connor for the 2+ points for Winnipeg, because I do think Winnipeg will get theirs after being shut out last night by the Seattle Kraken. So looking at those player props and some of the trends that you need to know in the player props going into tonight and how those players have been cashing. You look at William Nylander, like I said, for the Toronto Maple Leafs, you want to play him for the 2+ points. It's hit in 4 of the last 5. It's great money at +184. Now, if you're looking at Mark Scheifele, the anytime goal for the last 5 at +150, definitely worth a shot. Dougie Hamilton here, the New Jersey Devils, he has been staying under his points. I don't like to take a player for an under 1 point for Dougie Hamilton has hit in the last 5 games. That's coming in at -120. Now, Mark Scheifele hasn't been getting those assists, just those goals. So his assist is -120. So something to look at. When you look at Coronado for the Calgary Flames, under his points, under 1 point. So it's coming in at -135. So Calgary is having those struggles. But if Nazem Kadri out of the lineup, I wouldn't take Coronado. Luke Hughes here for the New Jersey Devils hasn't been getting those points either. 4 of his last 5 yet he hasn't recorded a point. He's +105 to not record a point. I would be very cautious with that one because of the Devils' ability to score on the Sharks defense. So I would go against that trend. I'd look at Luke Hughes for the point. Luke Hughes and Jack Hughes to combine for a point each, I think would be a nice way to go. Now, Monahan hasn't been that impactful for the Columbus Blue Jackets. You haven't seen him score a point in 4 of the last 5 either. So his under points coming in at plus 105. With how that defense is rolling with the Washington Capitals, I think Monahan to not score a point is a solid way to go. Now, when we look at John Carlson, we mentioned John Carlson. If you really want to play someone for the Capitals to get a point, John Carlson for the point over a half a point. So 1+ points coming in at minus 120. He's been able to get a point in 4 of the last 5. Dylan Strome, another playmaker you want to look at for the Washington Capitals. He's been able to get an assist in 4 of the last 5 games. His anytime assist is minus 130 today. So definitely someone else you want to look at for the Buffalo Sabres is Rasmus Dahlin. His assists have been cashing for the last 5 for him as well. He's been able to get that assist. His assist is starting to get juicy, minus 130. Josh Morrissey for the Winnipeg Jets hasn't been getting those assists on the board, though. His under is too highly juiced for me. It's minus 135 to the no on the assist, but they have not been cashing if you've been rolling with that. Kyle Connor, on the other hand, has been getting those assists. He's got an assist in 4 of the last 5. His anytime point is minus 135. Or his anytime assist is minus 135. So would be a solid way to go, as I do think Kyle Connor gets on the board. And then going back to William Nylander, his assists have been cashing as well. I would rather take him for the 2+ points than taking him for an assist. His assist is minus 142. I do believe in this matchup today, he gets an assist and a goal. So I'd rather the 2+ points. And you can't forget about Matthew Knies there for the Toronto Maple Leafs. He has been able to get the points on the board in 4 of his last 5. So 80% of the time, except the problem is it's almost minus 150 for his assists. But those are some players and where you want to go tonight. Seeing your guys' things pop in here. Saturday trends. You got to love those Saturday trends. Vegas and Carolina team total over 6-0-1. The total over. Yes, the total has been solid between those. Montreal first period money line 5-0-4. Never trails this season. Yeah, Montreal's been so strong in that first period. I love that puck line. We're getting great plus money on Montreal in the puck line. Pittsburgh team total plus 6-2 to the over. Yeah, Pittsburgh has been scoring. Sidney Crosby, phenomenal night last night. So tonight, Winnipeg first period money line. Yeah, first period money line is another one for the Winnipeg Jets. This is a solid team. Off of that loss last night, you know that first period, they're going to want to come out so strong. Kev Lakin, the Caps in the first period puck line, and Vegas Vixen. So glad you made it here for the Cup of Joe. For the weekend, do a Cup of Joe plays since your schedule will be tight. Yeah, schedule is really tight on the weekend, and that's the problem here with college football and everything rolling as we get deeper into the season, as these sports start to drop off. It's just so much harder to be able to get a quality show out to you guys on a Saturday and Sunday. Sunday is definitely those Cup of Joes, so stay tuned for those. I do think I'll do something either pre-recorded or live, a longer version than the Cup of Joe, and then maybe a couple earlier Cup of Joes for tomorrow. So make sure you do check that out. You guys, I appreciate each and every single one of you who are here on the daily. And Columbus is bad at the penalty kill, so Wilson for the power play. At plus 260, it is a great bet. You guys, make sure you drop below what else you are liking out there on the ice tonight. I appreciate you guys so very much for joining me here on the daily. You guys are absolutely the best. Let's make some freaking money until tomorrow or Sunday or the next time we're live. We're going to be live at some point. Stay hot. Let's make some freaking money. Make sure you do check me out on Wager Talk Picks and Parlays and Betting Pros. So much free content coming out of all 3 of those sites that you don't want to miss out on, as well as giving me the support here on YouTube. Absolutely means the world. So you guys, keep crushing it. We'll see you tomorrow. See you then.